Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and Blizzard is going to be doing a lot of PvP changes for patch 9.1. One of the things I want to focus on is an honor talent refresher, and today we got a pretty big one for rogues. I want to do a video for 9.1 updates on all the classes and the general stuff, but the rogues just got so much in there, and since I'm a rogue main, I had to take a more detailed look at everything rogues are getting and show it off to you guys, let you know my thoughts on what I think is good, what I think is not that great. So let's take a look at everything rogues are getting in terms of honor talents and general PvP changes in today's video. First of all, we're going to start off with the honor talents. Some rogues are getting some honor talents that are specifically for all three specs, or rather that are no longer for just one spec. The first one is going to be Dismantle. Dismantle was an outlaw only thing, and now it's being given to Subtlety and Assassin to be able to disarm the enemy, which is going to have quite a significant impact of rogue versus rogue combat, or rogue versus warrior or paladin, or really any other melee. This has quite a few things with Dismantle. Like, one of the things you can do with Dismantle is, if let's say a rogue blinds a healer and they want to go for a Vanish Sap or a Shadow Dance Sap, you can actually disarm them before they land the sap, and you can't sap without a weapon, so you can deny some CC with this. But also you can deny damage, which is a default one. From warriors, for example, they're just going to hit you with that big old Warbreaker avatar. Nothing is sweeter than just removing their weapon and then following up with maybe a stun afterwards to completely stop their opener. Another talent that's getting added for all three specs is Thick as Thieves, but in a different version, the old school version of Thick as Thieves. With Thick as Thieves, normally for Outlaw, it grants you 10% damage increase, and to the person you target with Thick as Thieves, 10%. Going for a group-wide 20% damage increase. But with Thick as Thieves, with the new version, you buff your ally by 15%. However, this is going to bring rogues more in line to what they used to be in previous expansions, kind of being the CC bot while your ally really amps up and does a bunch of damage. This could be pretty significant, and rogue comps could be pretty strong, and you could probably pair certain classes that do crazy ludicrous damage with the rogue, since Thick as Thieves and Tricks of Trade itself is on a 30-second cooldown, so every 30 seconds you could have a very powerful go with the rogue. That's going to, I think, be very interesting for the group gameplay, but it's going to be less good if you're running this with a healer, for example. And this is why Blizzard is going to be buffing some of the other honor talents for rogue specs as well, like maneuverability. Sprint now removes all root effects. Now, this becomes a lot better for movement, especially if you are always rooted constantly. So if you were taking certain honor talents or talents before that broke you out of roots, you might not have to. Maneuverability might be the play now. This one is a good change overall, as Sprint was great for slows but did nothing for roots, and now this becomes a very strong honor talent with this change. Honor Among Thieves as an overall rogue honor talent, though, has been removed. You won't find it anywhere on any of the sub-rogue, Assassination, or Outlaw honor talents. Then again, I don't really know a lot of people that actually used Honor Among Thieves, so maybe it's a good riddance with that one. Next, let's go over some of the changes Assassination has gotten. Prior video on Assassin, we talked about Hemotoxin. That's not a new one. Shiv still will reduce the target ceiling by 40%, but now we get some other updates to some of the other honor talents for Assassination rogues. First of all is going to be Creeping Venom. Your Venom applies Creeping Venom, reducing the target's movement speed by 5% for 4 seconds. Creeping Venom is reapplied when the target moves, up to a maximum of 18 stacks. If for some reason you're doing RBGs at Assassination Rogue and the tank picks up the flag and is trying to run it from your base to his base to cap, you could hit him with an Envenom. As the tank is trying to sprint the hell away from you, he'll actually have the slow stack up to 18 stacks, which turns into a 90% slow. If the tank does not have any movement slow removal or poison removal, they would actually be perma-slowed to 90% until they just stand still. Creeping Venom does put more control of your rogue over the enemy character, forcing them to either stand still for 4 seconds or keep moving, like rogues like to, when they PvP, try to get you in a kidney shot, they strafe A and D all the time. They'll actually punish themselves by doing it. I don't know how good this will be as a change because it doesn't have any damage component behind it, but that slow could be actually pretty good. Another honor talent that's gotten changed is Intent to Kill. Shadow Step cooldown is reduced by 90% when using a target with your Vendetta. So it's tied to a 2-minute cooldown, so I always felt like they should buff this honor talent, and it looks like Blizzard has, as using it on a train dummy with a Vendetta, Shadow Step becomes a 3-second cooldown. So you can constantly keep chasing after the enemy, no matter where they are. So if it's like a monk trying to escape from you, you could just keep chasing after them, and it'll be basically impossible to escape the rogue. It is still, again, only tied to the Vendetta, which is a 2-minute cooldown. So unless you have ways of reducing the cooldown of Vendetta, this one doesn't get as much value. but during Vendetta, it has massive value. So if your go is all about big Vendetta, and if the enemy's plan is to outrun you Vendetta, this hard counters it. The one on a talent that's missing now from an Assassination tree is going to be Mind-Numbing Poison, since Numbing Poison is already a poison for you. So no longer will you do damage to enemies when they cast spells, but I guess it's fine. Again, not a poison I've really seen a lot of people run before. System Shock, Maneuverability, and Smoke Bomb generally tends to be the trio that most people end up going for anyway. Next, we got to check out Sub Rogue. And for Sub Rogues, we got a couple new changes, a couple new auto talents and such. The new one is called Distract Mirage. Distract slows the target affected enemies by 30% and creates a mirror image that follows the enemy for 8 seconds. Reactivate Distract to teleport to the mirror's location. So this train dummy, for example, just minding his own business, I'll throw Distract to the side, and you'll see an image of me appear. It looks a little wonky, a little weird. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be some animation, but if you press the ability again before the cooldown runs out, you actually will be able to teleport to the image. So it looks like the Mirage is gonna go away after a bit. So this kind of puts the ability on cooldown now, and it doesn't really show it because it's a new on talent. It kind of breaks the ability to distract a little bit. But if you use it in between the cooldown, you just teleport to that location. I do wonder if there's a max range to this, so can I distract an enemy, run as far as I can, and then press it before the reset? Is that a thing I can do? Okay, so it's there, it's applied, we're running, teleport. Oh, hello, now we're back. Hey, this is pretty cool. This is actually kind of cool. So this could give you like an escape for a rogue, or if you want to reset on the healer after a bit, after you build up the comm points for a kidney shot, now you don't need to use your Shadow Step. Then there was a bunch of other changes to a bunch of other honor talents, like Thieves Bargain is a bit more of a bargain. You actually get something back for it. Cooldowns of Shadow Blades, Vanish, and Faint are reduced by 33%. Using one of those abilities reduces your damage by 10%. So it's kind of a bargain. You get cooldowns back quicker, you do slightly less damage when you use those cooldowns. So for rogues, you're looking at a Shadow Blades with a 2-minute cooldown, Vanish with a 1.3-minute cooldown, Faint with a 10-second cooldown, so together with Elusiveness, it's pretty good as a defensive. So you can actually maintain it for quite a bit. In fact, with the changes to Faint, you'll actually have like a 4-second dead zone where you can't use Faint, but you'll be able to use it quite regularly. For sub-rogues, 10% damage reduction does kind of suck. I feel like with a Vanish, you're trying to reset anyway, so you'll take that 10% nerf. With Shadow Blades, what you can do is you can actually pop it early, wait out that 6-second nerf, and then open up with Shadow Blades afterwards. And then this way you won't lose any of the value of the damage output that you have. So yeah, I feel like this is a nice trade-off. You get cooldowns back quicker so you can be more aggressive with your vanishes, your defensives, but you also reduce the damage by 10%, which is an interesting one. I wonder how many people will consider this. I think this actually doesn't seem all too bad. Then we got even more changes like Dagger in the Dark. Each second while stealth is active, nearby enemies within 12 yards take 5. Not 10, 5% additional damage from Shadow Strikes. So they nerfed Dagger in the Dark for that one-shot potential. Shadowy Duel also got nerfed. Now its duration is only 5 seconds instead of 6. Still makes it a really strong cooldown regardless, but it is going to reduce their value a little. Silhouette has been buffed, so Shadow Step into an ally cooldown is reduced by 67%, which makes it a little bit better. So when you Shadow Step to Scraptooth, for example, it becomes like a 10-second recharge. The one on the talent that's actually removed completely, you will notice, is a Cold Blood. No more 10% free damage when you cheap Shadow Strike. It looks like overall Blizzard focused on nerfing some of the rogues' damage with Thieves Bargain. Hey, get cooldowns back quicker, you're nerfed. Dagger in the Dark, nerfed. Cold Blood, removed completely. So I wonder how this is going to impact rogue's solo ability. Like, how can you solo players easily in RBGs, for example? I think this is going to have a bit of an impact for sure, especially the tanks that have so much health. I mean, Cold Blood just went through all that health since it just take off 10% of the health, no matter how tanky they are, just 10% gone. So this is going to be an interesting change for sub-rogues. I think they've gotten some really cool honor talents to replace them. These are definitely far more interesting than what they had, but Cold Blood being a staple, being removed like that, that is going to be it's going to be interesting for PvP. Then we have Outlaws, and Outlaw are not really much a PvP spec considered by many, but they're super fun. If you've played Outlaw before, these guys are awesome. These guys are super enjoyable to play. So let's take a look at where Outlaw stands with some of the honored talents, because one of the things that Blizzard always had for flavor text is called either an Outlaw or Ruthless Fugitive, who uses agility and gout to stand toe-to-toe with the enemy. And I felt like the toe-to-toe part never really was a real thing until now with these honor talents. Let's take a look at the stuff we have. First things first, before we get into on talents, Blade Flurry damage transfer from single target attacks increased by 50% in PvP combat. So when you have war mode on, or I guess, or PvP, Blade Flurry should cleave harder. So Blade Flurry should be a bit more punishing when enemies are stacked together. Alright, let's take a look at some of the actual on talents Outlaws are getting. We'll start with the new ones with Float Like a Butterfly, Sting Like an Outlaw, I guess? So that's an interesting one. Restless Blades now reduces the remaining cooldown of your evasion and feint. So Restless Blades is a mechanic where Outlaw has cooldown reduction on your offensives. Back in Legion it had some defensives too, and it looks like with this Hunter talent that returns, finisher moves reduce the main cooldown over your Adrenaline Rush, Between the Eyes, Blade Flurry, and a bunch of other abilities by 1 second per combo point spent. This is increased if you have a certain buff, like cooldown reduction buff for Outlaws. And if I can somehow roll this buff, I'm gonna actually try to see if I can roll it in the next one. Oh, there we go, cooldown reduction. So we can actually test this right here. So let's go. We'll press evasion, finisher, and we'll see how fast the cooldown reduction aspect helps it, because I think it does contribute to the cooldown reduction. And it looks like it does. Oh my god, you can reduce cooldown so quickly. Hold on, we gotta go for a slice of this to make sure we have constant energy regen output here. We're only at 20 seconds and we have 30 seconds to go. 17. One more finisher and we got it back. 30-second cooldown on evasion if you get super lucky with your buffs. This is cool. This is definitely going to make you super tanky against melee. Wow, this gives you just that unpredictability that Outlaw has, but turns it up to like an 11 on your defensives. This is really cool. I like this one a lot. I like this change. This is a new one, but it really does make you this brawler. Speaking of brawler, enduring brawler is a thing. Every 3 seconds you remain in combat, you gain 1% stamina and a chance for Sinister Strike to hit an additional time. So Sinister Strike as an ability already has a default 35% chance to hit the enemy for additional time, making the next pistol shot half cost and do double the damage. So with 20 stacks, you're gonna get 20% more stamina and 20% more likely to hit again with Sinister Strike, putting it up to a 55% chance. 35 versus 55, that's like 1 in 2 chances. That's pretty good. I mean, it's still all RNG, it's still all, you know, statistics, but it's pretty good. I'll say it's pretty good. The extras in stamina could also be really great against casters, or rather even melee. That's just more survivability for you, more health increase, and if you have things like Iron Stomach together with your Crimson Vial, that's more healing value for the extra stamina that you get. So it does make you a little bit better at surviving enemies. Again, just amps up a little bit of extra of that brawler appeal with Enduring Brawler. Then we have some honor talents that have been redesigned a little bit. The first one is going to be the favorite one of any Outlaw PvPer, Control is King. This one used to give you a Adrenaline Rush every time an enemy around you was stunned, polyed, or silenced, but I guess Blizzard thought maybe that was too good or too weak, so they changed it to Control is King, a new one, where Cheap Shot grants you Slice and Dice for 15 seconds. Now that Cheap Shot 15 seconds Slice and Dice, it's actually not bad, because in the opener you'll go for all the bones, you'll Cheap Shot maybe, and then you'll get Slice and Dice, so now you can go for an opener. There you are. You don't have to worry about ramp up. You're just there. You're playing. You got Slice and Dice rolling and everything. You're good to go. You can play the game, go for Kidney Shot, do the things you want to do. That I actually don't mind at all. And then there's a second counterpart to this. Kidney Shot restores 15 energy per combo point spent, so Kidney Shot by itself costs 25 energy. So just spending 2 combo points into a Kidney Shot restores 30 energy. So Kidney Shot pays for itself. And if you get more, it can give you, with 5 combo points, 75 energy back. So this is kind of hefty, because you basically go from no energy. Let's say you go for a setup. Let's say you get your Slice and Dice rolling before an enemy has attacking you. Pop a Adrenaline Rush. Let's actually turn off Adrenaline Rush. It's going to be too much energy. Kidney Shot. Bam. Full energy. You're good to go. You're able to get all your damage out. You don't have to worry about pulling your energy at all. You can just kind of go. This is really cool. Then we have Drink Up Your Hearties, which actually increases the amount of healing your Crimson Vial does by 5 additional percent. And Maximum Health grants you 60% of its health to allies. So is there a player nearby? There isn't, at least not in war mode, but there is NPCs. So if I stand next to Scraptooth and I pop a heal, you'll actually get a bit of that heal for 60% of the value. That's pretty neat. So together with like Iron Stomach, Drink Up Your Hearties, if let's say you're playing with a mage and you go for like, you know, you go on the enemy healer, you open it, you do some damage, you go to some cross CC. Oh, okay, we got some cooldowns. All right, retreat behind the pillar, hide like cowards. Oh, we actually low on health. Hold on, fam, I got you. Sippy cup. Now both of us are healing. So I could totally see this being used if, let's say, you're playing without a healer, or even with a healer. That's just decent self-healing on its own. Then we're gonna change to boarding party. I don't really know why this is still an honor talent. I don't know if anybody uses it. Boarding party now has a 15-yard range instead of 10-yard range to allies, and duration of movement speed increase is 6 seconds instead of 5. I guess this could maybe be good in RBGs, or if you're trying to, go from, let's say, a DPS towards a healer with another DPS, you can just hit him with it between the eyes. Now you guys get 30% movement speed. You can get from A to B quicker, but you're probably just going to use your own mobility. You're going to surprise the enemy. Boom, boom, boom. Get some damage. Snap, grapple, kidney shot. Do the whole shindig. You probably will do that rather than play boarding party. So I'm surprised that this honor talent got buffed, even though I don't really know anybody that uses it. I mean, it's always been kind of cool. Hey, let me get my whole party. Bam, you shoot a gun. Everybody hears it. Everybody rushes to the enemy. But it just doesn't really work like that ever. Take a cut as an honor talent also got changed. So roll the bones grants you haste to allies within 15 yards. I think that was always a thing. Maybe it was 8 yards before. Oh, it was 8 yards. Does this still work on Slice and Dice, by the way? So roll the bones, right? Okay, we got a haste buff. That's nice. Slice and Dice. We still get a haste buff. So they kept the haste buff from Slice and Dice and roll the bones. So that's good. That's a nice buff with 50% extra haste. That's a pretty good one, actually. The honor talents that did get removed are going to be Cheap Tricks. And Cheap Tricks was an honor talent, I believe. I've never used it. But it's the one where after coming out of... after enemy comes out of blind, they have a high chance to miss. That wasn't used all that often. Between the eyes also reduces the energy cost of your pistol shot by 100% for 5 seconds. Also wasn't used all that often. But then they removed one of the stronger ones, which is Plunder Armor. Plunder Armor was really cool. It stole the enemy's armor, making you look like the enemy, where you do 10% more damage and your maximum health is decreased by 10%, while the enemy does 10% less damage and their health is decreased by 10%. This did have a DCD. It lasted 10 seconds. It was actually pretty strong, and they removed that one. But with the stuff that we've gotten, be a more defensive brawler side, I really think we got a pretty good deal. Some things moved, some things added. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the combo together of Flow like a Butterfly and Enduring Brawler with Control as King. I think this could be a pretty neat combo, and there's now usage for Take a Cut has a bit more range. Drink Up Your Hearties could be pretty good. Thick as Thieves is there for 3v3s. Like, we still have Smoke Bomb. We still have lots of good utility as is, but I kind of like where rogues are at in our setup. I think we're looking pretty good, at least in terms of Outlaw, but in general, I think the rogue honor talents are looking pretty interesting. So overall, rogues have gotten quite a lot in terms of honor talents. Yes, there were some things removed, but there were some new things added, and there were a lot of changes. Some of them have been nerfs, like Subtlety, or adjustments for Assassination to make certain builds better, or what I would imagine basically is almost a complete rework for the idea of what an Outlaw rogue is supposed to be able to do in PvP. And I am a fan of these changes. Now, granted, this isn't the final build, and not everybody's going to like these updates, and with plenty of community discussion and feedback, I think Blizzard is going to be making adjustments. I think these are pretty good, though. I don't really know what I would change at the moment. I think this needs more testing, but all the stuff we got added is really cool. I like everything they added with this setup. I'm a huge fan of the stuff they did for Outlaw. I'm actually surprised they gave it as much love as they did. I'm so excited to get some Blade Flurries into PvP, see how good that cleave is. I really want to see just how endurable can I be. Can I really stand toe-to-toe with some of these people? And I cannot wait to use evasion every 30 seconds on rogues and warriors who are just not suspecting it. Just think, oh, now he uses evasion. Now I have Avatar. What the hell is this? He got evasion back up. I think it's going to be really, really cool to surprise my enemies. And that's what I think Outlaw is about. So I really like the changes rogues have gotten overall. I think Blizzard is going into an interesting direction, and I think all three specs might actually have some viability in 9.1. Again, needs more testing, needs more updates. We'll see how this works out with Legos, but this all looks really good. This got me super excited to play Rogue in 9.1 though, boys. PvP has been one of the things rogues have been generally pretty good at, and so many on talent updates should get you guys excited to maybe get one up and running right now in preparation for 9.1 if you're as excited as I am. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you watched to the end, give this video a like. If you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed the regular updates, let me know. If you want to see regular updates for patch 9.1 Rogue or otherwise, let me know in the comments below what you want to see. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all the good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.